What's going on, guys? Uh, if you're watching, they just agreed to a 9.7 million barrel cut. Details are still coming out, but it's not necessarily a good thing because it doesn't solve what potentially could be a billion barrels in oversupply already. You watched my video yesterday. We talked about how all that has to unwind. Um, it's not a, I guess a deal is better than no deal at all, but it's not a great deal. So, if you have any questions on it, I'm still kind of following the details on it. If you don't have Twitter, um, let's see what's going on. If you guys have any questions, feel free. Just check in. OPEC will finalize and approve the deal. Um, the United States will be cutting 300,000 barrels of oil on behalf of Mexico. I don't know who's going to be over that. Shale is so bad. I mean, it's already cutting on its own. It really doesn't need it. Um, as pointed out by Permian Landman on Twitter, he just asked about tanker calls. If you're on the video yesterday, my live video, I talked about tankers, tanker stocks. They are going to be gold mines in the coming months. Scorpio Tanker, I think it's STNG. Companies like that are going to be really, really good. So, but yeah, OPEC made a deal. It was Easter Sunday. I am not entirely sure whether oil is going to go up or down tonight. Market should be open in a couple hours for Brent crude. Um, I mean, in reality, it may spike a little bit, but it's not coming up. I don't think it. I know West Texas Intermediate doesn't WTI doesn't go above 30. I bet Brent may have a little spike, but that's going to be about it. Um, if you have any questions, feel free to message me or leave on my comments, and I'll keep you posted. Let's see, hot off the wire from. So basically, they just cut Mexico out of the deal. The first part of the forecast was fulfilled, but Mexico's share, of which it refused to comply, has been deleted. Now awaiting Aramco's official crude prices for May. This is very important. The crude prices for May is very important because if you remember, the Saudis tanked the number in competition. Depending on the number they give, it could spark another price war, oil war. So it has to be fair, because if others think they're undercutting their price, this whole thing could go crazy again. So we shall see what they do. Um, how's y'all Sunday going, by the way? Happy Easter Sunday, if I didn't already say it to you guys. Hope you're doing well. Um, on one tweet, it says all the bears trying to justify why it's still going down. Uh, make no mistake, this is still a bear oil market. This cut, I don't believe, starts till May 1st. We've got 18 days of no cuts. So 18 days of 20 to 30 million barrels a day coming online into oversupply. Make no mistake, it may bounce today and tomorrow, but it is going down big time. Um, tanker uh, tanker stocks are the ones that own right now. 1 second. Okay, cool. Yeah, tanker stocks are the ones that own right now. If you make any money in the morning, I strongly suggest you take your profits because it's not going to last. This this cut literally just happened in the last 10 minutes, so the details are still coming out on it. Um, let's see here. Here's something else. I think that is. Yeah, okay, it's May 1st. So just under 10 million barrels a day for members of OPEC starting May 1st. 18 days, guys and girls. 18 days of continued 20 to 30 million barrels a day. So at that 18 days, so it'll take mid-June just to unwind with that cut. To put it in perspective, it'll be mid-June for that cut to unwind what is produced in oversupply between now and May 1st. If the oversupply is only 20 million. If it's 30 million, it's even worse. It's July before that unwinds. That does not factor in the oil and oversupply already over the last few months. So you're talking about a billion barrels of oil in oversupply that has to unwind. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the worst bust in history that we are witnessing. And this idea that this automatically makes it better is not happening. 10 million barrels a day, just it ain't gonna work. So basically, they cut Mexico out of the deal. They just said, screw it, you all don't have to be in the deal, which is interesting because what's to say other countries don't start saying, well, you know what, we don't want to do it either when they see the price go up. So that could be interesting. Guys, if you can, please hit the like button. It helps me out a lot. I know it takes about half a second, but it does help me on the videos with the algorithms. But yeah, Nas had one important matter. There were rumors of, let me see if I can find it. Amina Backer, I believe her name is, mentioned 19 million barrels. Anas Al Haji has already come out and said that's impossible. Anas, if you don't know, is one of the lead OPEC uh, economists, I guess you can say. He's flat out said, OPEC can't cut. It's physically impossible to cut that much oil. So I'm not sure where her tweet came from, but unless she's talking about 19 million barrels total will be taken out between now and May 1st. Not daily, but total. Maybe that's what she meant. But Anas has already come on and corrected her that OPEC can't cut 19 million barrels a day by May 1st. It's not possible. So um, we shall see. You guys got any questions for me? Expect expect oil. Yeah, I don't. The problem with this is I can't be alone in my thought about this doesn't help very much. So I do not see oil going up real hard on this because this deal was less than the deal already they thought they were going to get. So oil could pop a little bit, but I think I do not see it going up really big. So if you make money on some of these oil stocks, I strongly suggest taking the bounce, taking the profits, and getting the hell out of them because quarters are coming up, first quarters are coming up, and it is going to be an absolute bloodbath. Redeterminations and debt is coming up. Again, that is going to be a bloodbath. Wells Fargo, all these banks are putting together oil operating companies as we speak because the loss they would take from selling assets that they have to take over would be too great. They might as well hold on to them for a little bit, hope they pick up. So it's going to get a lot worse. Companies are not out of the weeds by any means. And again, if you're just joining, the 9.7 million is less than the original 10 million barrels. Mexico's kept out of the deal. So we shall see. Great. Dan on Twitter just posted, now we are waiting on the opening of the markets. Let's see which way it runs because we don't know. Now, the cool thing for Americans is Brent crude will open up, I believe, about 5 o'clock Central Time. You got to remember they're 7, 8 hours ahead of us. So it'll open up shortly. And then you'll get to see which way the markets are going in a way. So that could be helpful for you to decide if you want to grab some stuff. If you bought on the bottom Friday, you may have an opportunity to get a morning bounce tomorrow. I do not know. That's just risky as hell. Um, Tankers, like I said, tankers are the only thing I think are safe right now. Long term, 3 to 5 years out, Exxon, BP, Chevron, those guys are safe. Um, I'm not even sure if EOG is safe, honestly, anymore. Um, Not like they're going to go under, but in terms of their stock going back up, I don't know if it will. But on the flip side, we're in the oil business. Iran could attack Saudi Arabia tomorrow, and oil go through the roof. So that's another issue with the world we live in. The Saudis could get pissed and flood the market like they just did, and it go to the floor. That is the fun we live in. So let me see if I got any more news for you guys. Keep seeing this 300,000. Apparently, they say the USA will be cutting 300,000 barrels of oil. I am not sure how that's going to work. I did some research back in the 30s. They tried stopping American producers from producing because it was an oversupply, and it was actually ruled by a federal judge to be unconstitutional. So I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know if that can be used in this to make people cut. Shell will naturally cut on its own, but I don't know if the government can force people to cut. That'll be another interesting deal. Um, okay, here we go. Iran oil ministry tweeted 23 countries as members of the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries and their non-OPEC allies finally struck an agreement after hours and days of intensive negotiations. The group have agreed to cut production by 9.7 million barrels a day for May and June. So they will cut roughly 180 million barrels of oil for May, but on the flip side, there could be as much as 360 million barrels of oversupply. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why I do not see, we may see a slight bounce in oil, but I do not see a major bounce. Andy Moe, American cuts can't be forced, they are via natural decline in production. Yeah, Andy, that's what I'm thinking too. Um, 15 and 19, I'll believe it when I see it. Who's doing the other non-OPEC? Who's doing? Because I think Russians are only doing what 1.5 million, I believe. So good information, Andy. Have you seen who all is cutting though? Let me see if I can find this. Let's see if we can find it. Miles Taylor at Miles Taylor 47. He tweeted 27 million barrels per day coronavirus demand destruction minus 9.7 million barrels a day OPEC cut. 17.3 million barrels per day inventory build minus 5 million non-OPEC cut leaves us still with 12.3 million barrels a day in inventory build. And that's if there's no cheating. That sir is getting a retweet. Okay, if you didn't get that, he's talking like Andy with the 15 million total. So there is still massive, there's still suggests a 12 million per day surplus oversupply build. So that's still a lot of oil. All right, guys, I'm going to shut it down. Coming up on 20 minutes. I appreciate you guys coming on. Andy, thanks for your comments, man. If you find out all the sources, and I'm still trying to find the sources, but if you find all the stuff, if you can leave it in the comment section, I'd love to look at it and see who all was cutting. But all right, guys, have a good one. Thanks for liking, subscribe, please. All that stuff helps me out a lot. And in this quarantine, I'm making a lot of videos. If you want some sort of content, please leave it in the comment section, and I'll crank out a video on it. Thanks, guys. Oh, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that Miles Taylor. It's a good tweet. And I like the part where he said, if no cheating. If they don't cheat, it'll be good. All right, guys, have a good one.